Hey there, neighbors. It's Nicole Fetter, your local Arizona realtor. We are wrapping up Q2 here in Arizona, and I thought it would be a great time to do a market update for Arizona real estate market Q2 of 2023. Talk a little bit about why it's still a good time to buy a house here in Arizona in Q3 of 2023. Number one, mortgage interest rates have steadied a bit. Maybe even went down a smidge in recent weeks. They're hanging out in the 6s. Some will get up barely to 7. I know we all think this is awful, but historically speaking, it is not that bad. And unfortunately, we are not likely to see interest rates in the 2s or 3s anytime soon, possibly never again. However, if we get that lucky, like I keep saying, you can always refinance and get into that lower interest rate if and when that happens. Now, let's talk a little bit about why we're steadying out here. In recent weeks, we've had several bank failures. It started with Silicon Valley Bank, then went to Signature Bank. Most recently, last week, it was First Republican Bank. This is making a lot of people nervous, and they're pulling back on their investments and making much safer, lower risk investments. A lot of people are pulling into mortgage-backed bonds. Typically, when people start investing in mortgage-backed bonds, mortgage interest rates do go down a bit. So we are looking at a much more steady pace in the interest rates in mortgage loans. Number two, FHA home loans have had lower interest rates than conventional loans for the first time in my 20-year career in real estate. An FHA loan has been around 6.25%, where conventional has been in the high 6s, almost 7s. FHA also recently decreased their mortgage insurance premiums. Now, there is benefits for using conventional versus FHA and vice versa, but as for right now, there is great incentives to use an FHA loan for everyone, but especially for first-time home buyers. Starting at a rate of 6.25%, it's not that hard to get you down in the 5s buying down your interest rate. Definitely something to look at. Number three, low inventory. We still have a very low inventory of homes here in Arizona for sale. The peak of the real estate market was 1 year ago now, meaning we've been in this current real estate market for a full year now. Have you seen that huge market crash everybody was talking about? No? Have you seen the home values plummet? Again, no? What about that surge in foreclosures? Still no. It's starting to look like that market crash everybody's been talking about is not going to happen. As a matter of fact, we are seeing a huge decrease in inventory available, not an increase. According to a recent study by NAR, National Association of Realtors, 57% of the homes that are going on the market here in Arizona are still selling within the first 30 days on the market. Yes, homes here in Arizona are not only still selling, they're selling quick. Number four, and this is a biggie, sellers are giving unnecessary concessions. We are still very much in a seller's market here in Arizona. We have 2.6 months of inventory. A level market for buyers and sellers is 6 months inventory. We're not even seeing an increase in inventory. We're seeing a decrease. So we are going deeper into a seller's market. Yet, somehow, probably fear-based, sellers are giving concessions, unnecessary concessions. According to surveys, right now, 40% of sellers are giving concessions to their buyers. This is a great thing for buyers. You can get money to buy down that rate, get it in the 5s like we talked about. Money for closing costs, money to make repairs. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's more money in your pocket when buying a house. A better deal is always better for you. Just in case those real estate market related reasons to buy a house weren't enough, let's go ahead and talk about some other reasons to purchase a house that aren't necessarily linked to the current real estate market. Number one, fixed rate mortgages. Your mortgage payment never increases. Even if that mortgage payment is a little higher than your rent would be right now, for how long? Your rent will continue to increase forever. So even if it takes a few years for that rent payment to surpass what your mortgage payment is, you're far better off in the long run having a mortgage payment than continue to increase. I honestly hate to think about how much your rent could increase over 30 years. But guess what? At the end of that 30 years, no more mortgage payments. You can't say that about rent. It never stops. Two, equity. I know at least a few of you out there are worried about being upside down in your mortgage or your home value crashing. We've already talked about why it is not likely that our home real estate market is not going to crash. However, let's go ahead and look back at history. If we go back to those poor individuals that bought at the absolute peak in the worst real estate market crash in history, if they had held on to that property until now, they would have a lot of equity. Most of them, almost 50% what they bought in. So if we start looking at history, here in Arizona, you are likely to make 6 to 10% interest on your home each year. That is leveraging the bank's money. Do you know any other investment where you can leverage a bank's money and make 6 to 10% each year? Didn't think so. You just have to look at it in historical terms. The real estate market is cyclical, meaning it goes up and down. You are not always going to be on a high. You are not always going to be on a low. Your property value will change on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. It's an investment like all other investments, up and down. You have to hold your property for the long term, but history shows you will make money if you hold your property long enough. Number 3, revenue. You can make some money off your property. Rent out a room. Rent out the whole house. If you're renting, you may not be able to rent out a room. Your landlord does not have to allow that. Which leads me to number 4, no landlords. I know this seems like a little thing to a lot of people, being able to change the paint, change the property in any way you want, decorate how you want. Those things all seem little. But if you get a bad landlord, did you know they could sell the house while you're still living in it? And you have to let anybody come look at it with 48 hours notice. You have to let your landlord in your property with 48 hours notice. So if you get a landlord that's not so nice, that could be very inconvenient. Number 5, tax deductions, mortgage insurance, mortgage interest, taxes, home energy credits, home office credits, capital gains tax. You don't have to pay capital gains tax on your primary residence of $250,000 to $500,000 in profits, no capital gains tax. There is a ton of incentives, as you can see, still a lot of tax credits, but there's so many great reasons still now, 2023, quarter 3 coming up to buy a house. If you have any questions, please call, text, email, or direct message me. I am always here to help with your home buying and selling needs. Please take the time to watch, share this video with your friends and family, help continue to educate them on the home buying and selling process.
Go back
and remember,
with Fetter, you'll love her forever. She'll get